So here's the thing. Two things can be very true at once.
Let's go back for just a second.
I'm really determined this year to not ignore my feelings, but to do things for myself and take care of myself in a way that I'll be able to better respond when all of the darkness and the chilly weather and just the brisk cold, like real cold, hits. My frother has become a little weekend luxury because we just don't have the time during the week. But cheers. This looks so good. We're back. We're back. It's reviving the system. It's literally 1 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm just having my coffee. I thought I was gonna be up and at 'em today, but I was not, okay? I literally almost talked myself out of going to the gym because I was just that tired. I'm just that tired. The weather's not helping. And I just feel like in the new year, there's always this pressure to hit the ground running and everything to be perfect immediately on January 1st. And it's just not the case. It's not the case, and it shouldn't be, because I have just been doing a lot of reflecting on my goals, and I just feel like it's all about progress over perfection. We just gotta take it one step at a time. One step at a time. And might I add that if you're anything like me, the winter months can just hit really hard. And for me personally, the winter scaries are very real. So I was thinking about it and I was just like feeling the stress coming on and the pressure, because I'm getting this little pimple right here and it is 100% from all of the pressure that I've been putting on myself with the new year starting, and just this need to want to hit all my goals perfectly and make sure that I'm keeping up. And then we got our first winter storm and I just felt all of my motivation, all of my excitement, and the routines that I started to build. I feel like I had to pause everything, and then from the pause of not being able to leave the house and the skies just being super dark, and I just felt everything leave me. All of my energy levels were just lower and lower as the days kept going by, and I was just sitting here how am I going to be able to show up the way that I thought I was going to show up this year if I'm feeling this low? And then I was just hold on a second. The winter scaries, they're here. We're in the thick of it, and I didn't know that I was feeling seasonal depression years ago. I just felt like I was super just down all the time and sad all the time. And now that I've been in therapy and I have just been able to go through all of the different chapters of my life, I'm in this new era. I'm in this new era of really being able to stop, recognize what I'm feeling, and be able to look at what is happening around me. And when I had this realization, I was like, we need to chat. You and me, we need to chat, because I know I'm not the only one who is experiencing these very real emotions and feelings in the winter months. And I'm just excited that I feel like this is the first year, the very first year that I have entered into the winter, started to have these very real feelings of the winter scaries, and then being able to have a new shift in perspective of how I can get through it. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited to share it with you. And you know, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through it, and we're gonna get through it together. So here's the thing. Two things can be very true at once. Two things can be totally true at the same time. And I feel like there are moments where I forget that, and then I'll just go down one path and one truth, and then that just becomes my reality. And so for me, I was sitting in these feelings of being just like overwhelmed and feeling sad, and knowing that, okay, this is the winter time. These are the normal feelings that typically come in the winter. I'm just gonna let it be what it's gonna be, because this is what happens every winter. And then on the other side of that, I know I have these goals that I've set for myself. I know that I have set myself up on the right path to get there, but now I can't go anywhere. I can't leave my house. And so these other feelings of the winter scaries like really took over for me. And if we're being so for real, that's what these winter feelings can do. They can make you forget about all of the efforts you've already made. It can make you completely just fall off track and just become completely overwhelmed and feel like you're stuck. And having that realization of like, you've already set winter art goals, you've already been accomplishing some of them, you're working towards them right now. It's crazy, it really is. And I wanted to share that because I feel like even if you didn't set any winter art goals and you're not familiar with what they are, winter art goals, the main thing behind it is that it is allowing you to be proactive at getting in front of all of your goals that you want to achieve. And for me, I feel like the winter arc allowed me to be more proactive with preparing for the winter, because that's something that's important too. I moved over here to the desk so I could start to write down what I want to accomplish for the weekend, get productive, and just get myself back on track. Because when I tell you I was in it, okay, your girl, I was spiraling, okay? I was spiraling. And that's something that I wanted to talk about too, is that it is so important to allow yourself to feel these feelings, because let me tell you, I had a very necessary cry like a week ago. When I tell you I just needed a release, and I allowed myself to just sit in my feelings of sadness and just allow myself to process what I was feeling, it allowed me to really just find clarity and help myself to be able to move forward and to make these realizations that I'm having right now. And so I want to remind you of that too. If you are in it like I'm in it, you don't have to stay there. You don't have to. Allow yourself to feel it, honor where you're sitting at, but always think about, how can I move myself forward? What can I do for myself so that I can allow myself to get to this version that I'm desiring to get to? And with all that being said, I thought I'd catch you guys up on where I'm at with my winter art goals, and just how you can be proactive in these months, because we already know how we're gonna feel. And I feel like recognizing that, knowing it's going to be tough in these winter months, I'm going to feel a little bit less motivated in these months. Like being able to already plan that it's going to happen, and then being able to think about, okay, well, when I feel less motivated, here's what I'm going to do. And when I'm feeling sad, here's what I'm going to do. So that when it happens, we are less likely to let it overtake us and we reclaim our power, because that's what this is all about. Because yes, these winter scaries, they're tough, but so are we. And that's the team, that's the vibe, that's the energy we're gonna be on this year, and everything's gonna be fine. So for my goals, I feel like they've been going pretty well since I started them back in, what was that, like November time frame. And more specifically, I feel like moving my body, I'm feeling really good. And like I told you guys earlier, like I was this close to just not getting up and going to the gym this morning. But then I was just like, you know what, nope. I need to get up, I need to move my body because that's how I'm gonna feel better, and I'm so happy that I did. In terms of my organization and my space, she's looking good. I have so many plans and ideas for this year for what I want to do in terms of organizing and just making my house a home. I started doing it last year, and this year I'm just excited to see what we continue to get into this year. For my winter fashion, okay, she's looking right, she's looking good. Picked up some cute sweaters, and I will share everything along the way of building this staple wardrobe because, you know, this year I'm turning 35, okay? I will be 35 this year. And I just want to continue to grow into what that means for me. Lastly, I wanted to kind of get away from the doom scrolling and really fill my mental space with things that just like make me feel good. And not to say social media doesn't, because it is a great resource. I love it. You guys know this. But I really wanted to get into reading. And I've been reading The Neighbor Favor for I don't even know how many months. I started back in July. I finally finished it, you guys. Finally finished this book on New Year's Day. I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. I'm gonna sit down. I'm getting myself together. I read so much of it on New Year's Eve, and then I finally finished it on New Year's Day. And I gotta tell you, Christina Forrest, she has my heart. This book was so well crafted and just so well done. The character development was phenomenal. I felt like it was just so nice to see how they both started out and how they grew as individuals in the story, and then how they grew together. I don't want to give too much away in case you want to read this, but the love story was so beautiful. And what I realized as I was reading this and as I got to the end, this is the first book in the trilogy that she has written on the three sisters named after flowers. This is Lily, and she has two other sisters, Violet and Iris. And like when I was reading through, I didn't realize that the story was gonna keep going. Like I thought this was like a one and done, and I was just like, I don't want it to end. But then they were like, it's a sneak peek of the next story in this book. And I was like, oh my gosh, the next one is about Violet. So it picks up on her story, and you can continue to learn and see what happens with her. And so I picked that up. This is my next read, The Partner Plot, and this is Violet. It's about to be a time because Christina Forrest and her writing style, it just vibes with me, and I love love. I love love, and I'm super excited to get into this because the next one is, let me see, I just pulled it up. It's on Iris, and it's called The Love Lyrics. So this is the next one that's coming out in February, and it follows her story and what happens next. And if you have not read this book, you definitely should. I highly, highly recommend it, and I'll let you guys know my thoughts on this one after I finish reading it. Look at me in a little book era again. Yes, yes. And lastly, just writing out what else I want to get done. So I'm going to start reading this book, and I feel like that's a really good way to like have something to look forward to, is to get into a good book. So I'm excited about that. And since it's so cold, I've been looking up on Pinterest like these yummy warm like soups and like different like pastas, and I came across this really like, oh, it looks real good. So I'm gonna attempt it and see how it turns out, see how it goes from there. So I'll do that tomorrow. The next thing that I want to do is just relax my mind, relax my brain, because I feel like that's important too. I feel like a lot of people, when they think about being productive, you have to be doing something, but there's productivity in rest. So we're also going to do that this weekend, and I just feel so much better. I feel so much better, and it's it's gonna be great. So I'm gonna start reading this book and I will see you guys in the morning. It's snowing, babe. It's snowing. You see the snow? Yeah. Is it pretty? It is just after 1:30 and here I am just making my bed. I cannot believe the snow is back already. It's so pretty to look at. Like, I love watching the snowfall. I just don't like all the cold, you know? But being inside, being nice and cozy and watching it fall, it's a vibe. It's a whole vibe. But one thing that I made myself do is make my bed, because I notice, like, when I'm in these like little moments and days of just no motivation and just low energy levels, I let making my bed like be the first thing to go, and I just let it be, and then here I am feeling even more just like down and in a slump. So I feel like that's been one little way to motivate myself and just to pick up the energy, because it might seem small, but just even having an organized space in your room, it turns the mindset around. At least for me it does. And I've also just like embraced that we're living at a 1 o'clock start time on the weekend. This weekend in particular, just because my energy levels have been lower and I just need more rest. And so I'm embracing it. I'm embracing the slower pace of the winter and just being okay with it, because if I keep resisting it and then just being upset that I'm not go, that's not helping either. And I was thinking about it more, just like allowing myself to rest and relax. It helps me to get refreshed too, and rest is important. So keep that in mind if you're like me, who is somebody who's always on the go. Like, when I tell you I'm booked, your girl is booked, okay? I always feel like I have something to do. So when I don't have anything to do and when things are slower, I feel like I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know what to do with myself. And one thing that we're not gonna do is not be kind to ourselves. We need to show ourselves compassion and love, and it's okay to slow down. So I'm actually gonna get ready to head to the kitchen and make this yummy soup. Michael got all the ingredients. He went to the grocery store this morning, and it's about to hit. It is about to be so good. Aww.
So what's it? So no, I
There's just pure ice falling from the sky. It's kind of loud. I don't know if you can hear it, but gathered everything, and we're gonna be making a creamy Italian ground chicken soup. Like, how good does that sound? That sounds phenomenal to me. So I gathered everything. I'll link this recipe below. I found it on Pinterest, and it's really quick to prep, really fast and easy to cook, and it says the total time for cooking is 35 minutes. Like, that is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Easy at-home meals, and we're good to go. I just went through and organized everything, make sure that I have all the ingredients. So we have the bow tie pasta that we're going to be using. You don't need all of the bow tie pasta because it looks like it only calls for 8 ounces. So we got 2 just in case, and it calls for chicken broth. I'm most likely going to use the majority of this just so that it is more soupy, because when I made lasagna soup, all of the broth got all soaked up from the pasta, and I want to, you know, I want it to be soup. I want it to be soupy. So I'm going to use more of that, going with the already bottled and pre-cut minced garlic. It calls for fresh garlic, but you know, time is of the essence, okay? Italian seasoning and olive oil, and you're also gonna need ground chicken and some frozen peas, so grab all of that. For the ricotta sauce, we got ricotta cheese and whole milk, calls for black pepper, and I saw that you could do like grated Parmesan cheese or a different kind, and so we got the grated Parmigiano Reggiano. I'm always like tongue-tied when I say that, but it is so good. It's so good. And calls for lemon juice, so grab that. And also got a real lemon because it calls for lemon zest, but we don't have the tool for lemon zest, so we're just gonna be creative, okay? It'll be fine. Everything will be fine. Here we go. Maybe I should do this like into the sauce instead of just like doing it separately. I don't know, I've never zested a lemon. Let's try that. Okay, all right. All right, here we go. Just gonna do what feels right. Because I love ricotta, so I can never have enough ricotta, that's for sure. All right, we're back. I think it's zested. It looks like it is. It smells amazing. Okay. Good, you guys. Oh, yes. Okay. The soup is souping right now. It's souping. I'm just gonna add the rest of this because I want it soupy. So excited for this. That just looks so good. Oh, there's nothing better than a warm soup on a snowy day. Like, the vibes are vibing right now, but it smells good. Now we need to do a little taste test. So, okay, let's see. It has everything that I love. Ricotta, peas. You know what? I think it could use like salt and more lemon. I feel like I didn't add enough lemon. I'm gonna add salt, I'm gonna add lemon, and then we're gonna try this again. But it's so good. Get everything in there in one bite. Much better. It doesn't call for salt. Add salt. That is so good. I'm gonna go ahead and end the vlog here, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and you'll have to let me know, how do you respond to the winter scaries? Like, what are you doing right now to get through the winter months? I feel like I chatted a lot about my experience and how I get through these months, and I'd love to hear from you. I'd also love to hear, how is 2025 treating you so far, and how are you doing? Like, how are you really doing? I'm just excited. I'm always excited for the new year to see where these next months take us, and I think with everything that I'm setting up for myself to get through these colder months, I feel really good. I feel much better than I have in the past, and that makes me happy. So I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.